win, go win, go win, go win, go win, man, go win.
Let's go to the NFC as Jared Goff and the 8-5 Detroit Lions. They are traveling to LA to take on Matthew Stafford and the 10-3 LA Rams. The Rams are favored by 5.5 points. It's an 8:20 p.m. kickoff. The over-under for this matchup is 55.5 points. Let's start off with the quarterbacks in this matchup. Obviously, these two quarterbacks were both traded in 2021. And since the trade, Jared Goff has gotten the best of Matthew Stafford. And Goff is 2-1 against Stafford in the 3 matchups against one another. And the two teams, since the Stafford-Goff trade, they are about equal as far as regular season wins and losses and NFL ranks. The Rams are 47-34, and that's tied for 9th in the NFL since the Stafford-Goff trade. The Lions are 47-33-1, which is ranked 8th in the NFL since the Stafford-Goff trade. And the Lions, they have 2 playoff wins. Both came in 2023. And the Rams, they have 5 playoff wins. 4 of those 5 playoff wins came in 2021 when they won the Super Bowl. So, obviously, when you are traded, I don't care what these players say. No matter what the circumstances are, when you are traded, when you play against your former team, it's a revenge game. It's a revenge game, especially for Jared Goff, because Sean McVay and the Rams organization, they essentially said, we can't win a Super Bowl with Jared Goff. And we believe that the best opportunity and chance for us to be able to win a Super Bowl, our chances are going to be better with Stafford than they are with Goff as our quarterback. And to McVay and the Rams organization credit, they got Stafford and they won a Super Bowl. But in Jared Goff's defense, Jared Goff has went to Detroit, and since he's been the quarterback for the Detroit Lions, he has taken the Detroit Lions to higher heights as a football team, and the Lions are now viewed as one of the best teams, not only in the NFC, but in the entire NFL. And I feel like Jared Goff deserves credit. I really, really feel like he deserves credit. And that's where I'm going to start in this preview. Let's talk about the Detroit Lions. The Lions, they saved their season in week 14 after they beat the Cowboys 44-30. And they improved to 8-5. That was a must-win for Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions. They desperately had to win that football game to keep pace within the NFC. And right now, the Rams are on the outside looking in as far as the playoffs. They are the 8th seed right now in the NFC standings, and they are 3rd in the NFC North behind the Packers and the Bears. But Jared Goff has been consistent as the Lions quarterback. For the season, Jared Goff, 26 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 3,334 passing yards, completing 70% of his passes. He has been playing the quarterback position at a consistent level for the Detroit Lions. And to me, he should be commended for that. Like, I think the thing is with Jared Goff, sometimes we take Jared Goff for granted because Jared Goff doesn't have mobility like a Jordan Love or like a Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. It's not sexy when you watch Jared Goff play the quarterback position. It's not. He's honestly probably the last of a dying breed as far as pure pocket quarterbacks because he doesn't really have any mobility whatsoever. But the one thing that Jared Goff can do is he can throw that football down the field with anticipation, and he's accurate. That's the reason why he's completing 70% of his passes. I mean, he's a very accurate thrower, and I love his leadership on this Detroit Lions football team. And right now, the Lions, as an offense, their best player is Jahmyr Gibbs. And I'm looking at Jahmyr Gibbs this year. Jahmyr Gibbs, 187 carries, 1,062 rushing yards, 13 touchdowns for the season. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is one of the best running backs in pro football. And I think that the Lions, in order for them to have success, they have to get the football to number 0 and make sure that Jahmyr Gibbs is constantly touching the football, because he has big play ability at the running back position. I remember watching the Lions matchup against the Giants in week 12. That game went to overtime, and in overtime, Jahmyr Gibbs had a 69-yard touchdown run, and the Lions were able to outlast the Giants in that matchup. And I thought Jahmyr Gibbs' big play ability helped the Lions in that particular game. And so the thing is with Jahmyr Gibbs, though, he's not just great running the football. He also is great as far as catching the football out of the backfield. Jahmyr Gibbs this year, 58 receptions, 474 receiving yards, 3 touchdowns. So he is second in receptions on the Lions offense. So I think he's a very, very dynamic player within this Lions offense. Now, when it comes to the Lions overall as a team, they're averaging 243 passing yards per game. That's ranked 5th right now in the NFL, and they average 393 total yards of offense. That's ranked 3rd, and they average 30 points per game. That's ranked 1st. So this is an elite offense, but the one element of this offense that has to play well is the Lions' offensive line, because if they don't protect Jared Goff, the Lions lose football games, because Jared Goff doesn't have mobility. And if he gets pressured, he starts to rush his throws, and the timing is off with the receivers. So that offensive line, they have to protect Jared Goff in order for the Lions offense and the Lions as a team to have success. So that's a major, major key in this game. Now, on the flip side, the Lions defense is banged up. Their secondary they are dealing with a bunch of injuries on that side of the ball. Brian Branch will be out in this game. I believe he's also going to be out for the season. And also Terrion Arnold will be out as well. Kirby Joseph is dealing with an injury. So that secondary is banged up right now when it comes to the Detroit Lions. And so it's going to be tough for the Lions, because they are going up against Matthew Stafford. And obviously the LA Rams, they are 10-3. They are leading the NFC West and leading the NFC right now. And right now, the road to the Super Bowl will go through SoFi in Inglewood, California. And the biggest reason why is because of Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford this year, 35 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 3,354 passing yards, completing 67% of his passes. I believe you can make an argument that this has been Matthew Stafford's best season of his career. He is balling. And I remember in the offseason and even in training camp and in the preseason, they were talking about how Matthew Stafford was dealing with a back injury. What back injury? What back injury? Because this dude has been balling since week 1, and he is playing the quarterback position at an elite level. He really, really is. And I know there were discussions about him possibly retiring at the end of the season. Hell, Stafford, the way he's currently playing, he could play another 3 years if he wants to, because he is balling right now. And to me, he is leading the NFL MVP race. But he's not alone, because Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua are two great receivers within this offense. And I think Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua, they are one of the best receiver duos in the NFL. And I believe both Nacua and Adams are playing at an elite level. Devontae Adams has 14 touchdown receptions this season. I've seen multiple times this year where Stafford's been in trouble and he's just throwing the football up, and somehow Puka Nacua came away with the football. Somehow. I mean, I think right now Puka Nacua leads the NFL in contested catches. I think Nacua has caught 23 of a possible 29 contested catches, which is insane. So Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams are a great duo at the receiver position. And I think Nacua and Adams, they are also a big reason why the Rams are leading the NFC West and right now sitting atop of the NFC. It's because of Matthew Stafford, Devontae Adams, and Puka Nacua. And I heard earlier today about how Devontae talked about how his timeline when it comes to him possibly retiring could be on the same timeline with Matthew Stafford as quarterback. And I could see that. I could see Matthew Stafford and Devontae Adams basically going out together. They're both veterans at their positions. They both have had a ton of success respectively at their positions. So I love the connection with Matthew Stafford and Tay right now. Listen, Devontae Adams was a former Packer. Obviously, he was the best receiver with the Green Bay Packers most of his tenure. And I'm always going to support Tay. I'm always going to support Tay and wish him success, only when they go up against the Packers, though. When they go up against the Packers, I don't want Devontae to be successful. I want him to struggle in those games against the Packers. But against everybody else, I want Devontae to ball out. But obviously, Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford, I believe they are the best head coach quarterback combo in pro football. I think Sean McVay is a top 5 NFL head coach, and obviously Matthew Stafford is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL and leading the NFL MVP race. And the Rams defense, they're young. They're young, they fly around, and they make plays as a defense. And right now, because the Lions have injuries in their secondary, I believe Matthew Stafford, Devontae Adams, and Puka Nacua are going to score a bunch of points against this Lions defense. But I'm also expecting Jared Goff to have some success on the other side against the Rams defense. Now, I like the Rams defense, and I think they have a really, really good young defense, but they do struggle at times when it comes to their run defense. I'm looking at the Rams' run defense. They give up 104 rushing yards per game, which is ranked 11th. So it's still above average, but sometimes they struggle. They struggle with being able to stop the run sometimes. But because of the injuries in the Lions secondary, and because of how great Matthew Stafford is currently playing, I'm rolling with Matthew Stafford and the LA Rams to beat Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions. Matthew Stafford, 38. Jared Goff, 21.